What's going on, guys? This is Kaishiro. Welcome back. So we are back with another video. So in this video we're going to cover Post-Terminal World 2 metagame and tournament data gathering from Asia Campus League 2024 in Taiwan Southern Qualifier. So as we browse towards this tournament, it was shared by our friend Akira in Road of the King. So shoutouts to him for providing this quality content for us, and it happened last December 13, and the Campus League had a 225 participants. So we can already tell that Taiwan is one of the bigger regions or major regions in Asia. If we consider all of the other regions like Thailand, Philippines, and Indonesia, for example, no. So Taiwan has been a really solid region in Yu-Gi-Oh. They have produced one of the best players in the world from Wang Chaching, winning World Championship 2018, and subsequently went finalist on the 2019 edition, and he also qualified for Worlds last year. So he's really perennial icon of Taiwan that demonstrates how good the Taiwanese are in this game. So unlike other regions, they have regional qualifiers like the Southern qualifier. So I think that they have divided the Taiwan into parts, and the top players of those tournaments will qualify into the finals, which is the top 11 will be invited towards the Taiwan finals of 2024. So moving on towards our deck list and tournament post, we do have Guo, Che, Chun with Ryzil. So as expected, Ryzil is Ryzil. We cannot really take away from that. The deck have been the best for quite some time already since the deck build crossover breakers. The Ryzil have been sitting at the top for a very large period of time already. And on this tournament, it is just prevalent that Ryzil is just that good. And looking on the list here, it just played a more consistency oriented build with double field spell and played double desires and one prosperity. Deviated from the usual more hand traps like Droll in the main deck now, for example, Nibiru, and more copies of the Ogre. So we just played double desires, one prosperity to bolster the consistency. So why not, no? You would want to have the best consistency available in these big, large-scale tournaments with more than 200 players. Imagine that. So on the extra deck, it is pretty linear. You just play the Donner. It is pretty much expected because we won't see Little Knight here. Donner is just the better choice for Ryzil. And the 14 card XYZ toolbox from the Exiton, Dweller, and Baguska, Dugares. Those are just given for the extra deck of Ryzil. On the side deck, it is pretty much the same for already 4 weeks or 3 weeks in the OCG. Even on Japan, Korea, and Taiwan, China, they have been composed on this set of cards with Nibiru, Lancea, and the duo of Duster and Heavy Storm with 4 to 5 going for cards like Judgment and the Barrier is pretty much the same. I do believe that these set of cards are the best right now. And if you want to side cards for Ryzil, I think that these are just perfect for you. The Red Reboot respects the trap-based matchups and the going first tools of your opponent, like Judgment, the Barrier. You could get away with Red Reboot. The only flex spot would be the Shifter. Most people, like in us in our country, in the Philippines, they would rather play Droll and Lockbird over Shifter due to some metagame variants, unlike the Taiwan. Probably Taiwan has a lot of Snake Eyes and White Woods or White Forest now, so they would want to play Shifter SAP. So next we do have Kuyuting Memento. So Memento Atlan, second place, takes this tournament home, and this Memento Atlan have been the cornerstone of Tier B. Imagine that. Memento Atlan has been a deck for roughly 6-7 months already in the tier list, sitting just on the B tier. They don't really escalate on A. They don't really go with the S. Sometimes they place on low A on tier list in Japan, Korea, Philippines, and on my tier list. But they don't really take the spotlight away from Ryzil, from Malice. For example, as a second or even third best deck, Memento Atlan have been just solid, rock solid. That's the best definition for this deck. You couldn't go wrong with Memento. I just think that this deck is very underrated, but it is subsequently very apprehended by most people. They don't really anticipate Memento too much, aside from the fact that Memento have been here for almost half a year already. So people does know how to play against Memento, but when we consider the side patterns, the tech choices, and also the hand trap options on the main deck and side deck of most people, they don't really target the Memento too much because they would focus on Ryzel, Malice, Blue Eyes Primite, for example, no? So Memento is just looking for free wins from left and right when your opponent doesn't have the best counters for you. And I do believe that when you want to play the best deck available in terms of novelty and also having the ability to overtake a lot of decks, I think Memento have been your best choice for a rough period of time already. And looking on this deck list, you just play Droplet. I think people are just mix and matching Droplet or sometimes Talent or sometimes Droll or Fualos on the main deck, no? So it just deviates from that only, and this player opted to play Droplet for purpose of defeating the Omni Negate threats. And yeah, on the side deck, pretty much linear, 3 Fualos, 3 Purulya. You couldn't go wrong with that. The Purulya is very massive against the likes of Ryzil and likes of Blue Eyes Primite or other decks in the metagame that could be hurt with the Purulya. And the Fualos and Purulya combo, once you resolve that, you're getting a lot of draws. And you will maximize all the hand card advantages in the game using Maxi and these two Fualos and Purulya. So it is very exceptional that you have those draw powers on your arsenal. And next would be Liao, Yihung, Ryzil. So we do have a more standard approach of Ryzil here. Pretty much the same as Exact as the champion of the tournament, but just tried to differentiate things with one field only and one talent, and also played two desires and prosperity. So I believe the pot package is also a really huge factor for this decks to top. You want to maximize your consistency on mirror match. Of course, the more resources you have, the more you are going to outgas your opponent, and yeah, probably be more the better and more resilient deck on the edge. So yeah, I think this is very fine to replicate right now. And on the side deck, pretty much the same, just triple the barrier aside from the 3 judgment now. So the 5 going first cards are just two included right now. Next, we do have Ying Xiaohong, Memento once again. This time didn't play Droplet, so this is the more standard Memento. Played Ogre or Nibiru, which are more functional against the Ryzil, no? And probably Malice. So you want to just play the best available tech cards and hand traps for this Memento. And you're able to do that because you have a lot of space on the main deck, and even though you are not really a mid-range deck or you cannot really tell that you are a combo deck at some degree, no? You have still a lot of rooms for non-engines. So this is what makes the Memento really good. And next, on the side deck played evenly matched, very underrated card. Like us in the Philippines, we do have Runic, Eldritch, Labyrinth, all of those control decks, Meta Beat, Stun, all of those crazy decks. Oh my god, I am losing breath from saying those decks because it is really tiring to play against those decks. And if you don't have the out, you just really roll against those decks. You crumble hard once you don't have out. So evenly is your best bet when you want to be prepared on those control stun decks. And next, we do have another Memento, no? So, technically, Memento have been really the second best deck in this tournament. We didn't seen Malice yet or Blue Eyes Primite, so clearly Memento have been a really solid second best deck on this edition. And on this list, pretty much the same as the first one. We have covered with triple droplet. Just this time, it is 42 and played one prosperity and one talent. And on the side deck, one Bell, of course, Bell, very underrated card. I do think that people really underestimate Bell right now. I just think that Bell is really solid against the whole scale of metagame. The whole chart of A, S to D decks would really suffer from Bell. I do think that every category on the tier list would have Bell hits or targets, and I just think that it is a phenomenal hand trap to play right now, apart from Nibiru and Ogre, and of course the usual Lancea. Next we do have Jurak. I think this is the surprise of the tournament. People have been hot on the Terminal World 2. They have been trying to pick up the deck from Terminal World 2, and they are pretty successful now, considering that Jurak just won a 200-person event, and Jurak as a deck is very old. It is very old. It is probably even older than I have been playing the game for long. So I think Jurak have been getting signs of revitalization. They have gotten the proper support. They have gotten the proper tools like Impulse and these Xenoground tech. So they have been really solid, and they're continuing to do that on the rendition of post-terminal world format, and they have been successful on getting some really gutsy wins. They have been performing on large locals events in Japan, Korea, and Taiwan, and also the Jurak would be inevitably going into higher ranks on the tier list because they've been solid on the big tournaments. So you could really argue that Jurak could potentially be climb the ranks of the ladder on this meta. And it's just a matter of pilot. For me, I think Jurak is a deck that heavily relies on the skill of the pilot. So yeah, the more the player is better on this deck, the more this deck will perform. And next, looking on the side deck, it's also played evenly much and 3 Lightning Storm. So huge emphasis on going second now with triple Droll and double Nibiru. They just want to annihilate everything on the board and just follow it up with huge chunks of interruptions and destruction effects of Jurak. And next we do have 10th place, Grass Branded. Oh my goodness, Branded. Branded has been here for 4, 3 years already. Since 2021 or 2020. So we have been dealing with Branded since Dawn of Majesty. Imagine that. It is even evident on the Tri-Brigade Eldritch Virtual World format. Even now, we still have Branded, no? So, Branded is just the deck that will never die. It is the flavor of the previous lore, and Konami have exerted a bunch of supports here for Branded, Quem, Cartesia, and Bestials, for example, from the previous one, no? And they don't really stop. I think the more you intricate the Branded, I think the more people will innovate decks or new ways to play the Branded. Like, for example, Branded has been playing 45 from before, no? So now they have integrated Grass, and before they used to play Tearlaments and other stuff like that, Shadal Invoke, no? So, yeah, the more you look at Branded, the more you're going to understand the deck and how vast that a deck could really function with your interest on changing the things for the deck and also innovating your own playstyle or intent for this deck. And looking on this deck list, it is pretty much standard. Just play the Trust and Droplet. You couldn't go wrong with that. With the one of uh, the Blackboot Loves is pretty much standard for Branded already. On the side deck, another Lancea, no? So, apart from this deck, we have seen like 6 decks that played Lancea. So, they are really prepared on Malice. They don't really want Malice to uh, overwhelm them. And I think Lancea is a really solid card. But if your locals doesn't have much Malice or other decks that like Runic, for example, no, you wouldn't want to run this card because it is pretty much dead on other matchups apart from the Malice after mentioned. So you would want to rely on things like Droll, for example, no, Bell, Ogre, Nibiru, even Purulia to some extent, no. So yeah, I think Lancea is just really a good meta call if you want to answer the Malice, and if you got it right, you're probably going to win a lot of games against Malice. And yeah, that sums up our Southern Taiwan qualifier of Asia Campus League. So, reminder, Campus League is for students and like-minded enthusiasts on taking degrees or enrolled in a university or campus right now. So, if you want to join this tournament, make sure that you have the proper requirements from your school. your ID, your enrollment form, and other stuff that is relevant to school, no? So yeah, that sums up our Asia Campus League Taiwan Southern Qualifier review. So if you found this video informative and helpful, please consider subscribing, and it definitely motivates me a lot to keep providing this content for you guys. So once again, thank you for watching. See you on the next one. Peace.